Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Praful John and today I'm excited to share insights into a fascinating survey paper titled Learning-Augmented K-Means Clustering Using Dimensionality Reduction. This is written by Jabari and published in January 2024. So first I'd like to thank the authors for their remarkable work that inspired this presentation. So this paper delves into improving K-means clustering by integrating principal component analysis and machine learning predictors to predict the initial centroids of the k-means algorithm. This is a novel approach for tackling high dimensional data. The purpose of this video is to provide a comprehensive overview of their research and explain their methodology and also discuss the results. So to begin, we have clustering. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to go over the topics that we'll be covering in this survey paper. So on top of it, we have clustering, and then we'll have dimensionality reduction. So what is clustering? Uh, it is an essential data science technique. So clustering is about grouping similar data points uh, and it is based on the shared characteristics. So the shared characteristics may be average severity and average number of symptoms per week. So they might share some same characteristic, like let's say this data point and this data point might share some same characteristics. That's why we have given them this cluster, right? So it's widely applied in fields like customer segmentation and image analysis and also network analysis. So we have a k-means algorithm. So the k-means algorithm is one of the most popular clustering methods. And what we do is we partition data into k clusters, and it does so iteratively by assigning points to cluster centroids. So to begin with, we try to randomly select different k centroids, let's say one here, one here, one here, and one here. So what we try to do is we randomly initialize k centroids like we did, and then we assign each point to the nearest centroid. So for the first centroid, maybe there will be points this the centroid will be assigned this data points. For the second one, this data points. So that is how we try to measure the nearest centroid based on the distance metric, like Euclidean distance or then or any other distance metric. Then we try to recalculate the centroid as the mean of the points in the each cluster. So uh, m- we try to recalculate the centroid mean, and when we try to calculate the mean, maybe the mean would have come here, and we repeat these steps until the cluster assignments are stabilized. So while effective, the k-means have some limitation, which we will touch on later. So what is dimensionality reduction? So this is a very critical pre-processing step for high dimensional data sets. It simplifies data by reducing the number of features, or what we call it as in tabular data, the columns, and while it also retain the most relevant information. So this is particularly important to avoid inefficiency or the noise, and to reduce the computational cost of the algorithm. So what we have here with us is the two popular techniques. One is principal component analysis and the other one is linear discriminant analysis. For this paper, the author chose to do principal component analysis. So we'll be diving deep into principal component analysis later in the video. Now let's talk about the paper, the survey paper. So in the survey paper, I'll try to give some background what they have discussed in the paper. So we have the problem statement, which says that k-means faces many challenges like high computational costs, and it is highly susceptible to local minima, not reaching the global minima, and it is also it also faces the backlashes like poor interpretability when dealing with the high dimensional data, which has, let's say for a tabular data, we have lots and lots of column. And this is a problem statement. And so what the author proposed is the combination of PCA for dimensionality reduction with k-means clustering, and this is also supported by machine learning predictor to predict the initial values of the k-means centroids. If you remember, we were randomizing the initial points for the centroids. So what we do here is we try to use machine learning algorithms to predict the predictors, the initial k points, or what we call it as centroids. And also the author has done a comparative study which has tested approach on this similar approach on three different data sets, majorly an Oregon graph data set, a PHY data set, and a very famous CIFAR10 image data set, and demonstrated that how PCA significantly improves clustering costs, and how it makes it very stable, and how it improves the interpretability. So to begin with the paper, we have the problem. So the K-means struggles with high dimensional data, and there are three major reasons we already discussed, right? So it's the computational cost, that is the distance calculation that become computationally highly expensive as the number of feature increases. Also, K-means is highly susceptible to the local minima. K-means often converges to suboptimal solution, especially in complex data sets, the high dimensional data sets that are we majorly focusing on, and also some poor interpretability. So high dimensional clusters are very difficult to visualize for a human brain. As like a human brain can visualize at most a three-dimensional data set. So that is why a high-dimensional data set is very hard to analyze. So what we have a solution that the author proposes, that we use predictor clustering, a workflow that combines the PCA with the k-means. What we do is we try to do the principal component analysis, which is one of the very famous dimensionality reduction techniques before performing k-means. So what we'll be doing is combining PCA with k-means, and also use the machine learning predictors to overcome these challenges. So what PCA does is it reduces dimensionality. It retains almost the most significant features, and the machine learning predictors generate initial cluster assignments, and the k-means refines the clusters iteratively, improving the accuracy and efficiency at the end. Now we'll be talking about the challenges that are faced by k-means. So if we have already discussed about local minima, which are the suboptimal solutions, the computational complexity, which is increased by like dimensionality. Increased dimensionality leads to more distance calculation, and hence slowing the algorithm. Then initialization sensitivity, that is random centroid initialization affects the result highly. And then we have poor interpretability because we cannot visualize the high dimension data sets. So how PCA rescues us? So what PCA is a technique that reduces the dimensionality of the high dimensional data by extracting principal components. It defines the direction or the principal components that capture the most variance in the data. So where the most variance is, it captures that and then projects the data onto those components that has high variance in it. So what are the advantages of PCA? It simplifying the data, like retains the key features while reduce the noise that is irrelevant to the what the high variance, basically that is irrelevance to the high variance, and it also improves efficiency by reducing the computational complexity. Also, it enables us for a better visualization as the high dimensional can be converted into a two-dimensional or three-dimensional data set, which is easily visualizable. So we'll go to how it works. So it identifies the directions where the most variance is. So here, where the most variance is in this direction, if we see that this point is for this, so that is why we'll project the components on this direction. For this, the high variance was on this point and this point, so that is why we plot the component on this direction. As we already discussed, what are the advantages? Let's move on to the uh, proposed solution. So the paper's workflow is that predictor clustering, which includes three steps. First is pre-processing, that is to apply PCA to reduce dimensionality. And then we have training, which we use algorithms like ResNet 18 to basically generate the initial cluster labels, that is the initial centroids. And then we use clustering method, that is the k-means, to refine the clustering iteratively. So, what are the advantages? So, it reduces the clustering cost. It avoids local minima. We can reach to the optimal values, and it also improves scalability for larger data sets. So, the data sets that the author used were Oregon graph, which is a network data with node relationships, and the Phi dataset, which is a quantum physics data from the KDD Cup 2004, and the SciFar 10, which is the image dataset with 60,000 labeled example across 10 categories. Now, so what are the key findings? It improves the clustering cost, and PCA significantly reduce cost compared to the traditional k-means, and it increase the stability, like higher KK values, that is K equal to 25 showed consistent and stable clusters, and it also improved the uh, interpretability, like it reduced the data dimensions to more clearer and more meaningful cluster structures. This is a graph that shows how like it was the cost was before without PCA and what was the cost after PCA. So it was a significant jump for a high dimensional data set. Now we'll look over conclusion. So to conclude, we have PCA that enhances k-means by reducing dimensions, and it reduces the clustering cost and the computational complexity as well. So this is one thing, and it also improves interpretability and also stabilizes the clustering outcomes. Uh, However, it was noted that PCA may lose valuable informations when it is applied to low dimensional data. So it was not showing a good result for the Oregon graph dataset, which is a smaller dataset which has low dimensions. So this is one thing that author noted and duly wrote in the survey paper. And when to use this is the high dimensional data sets with noise and which has redundancies are kind of ideal candidates for PCA, PCA enhanced k-means algorithm, I mean. So at last, I'd like to acknowledge the references. This is the Jabari, uh, the author who wrote this survey paper, which is titled as Learning Augmented K-means Clustering Using Dimensional Reduction. So at last, I would like to acknowledge the references. Uh, the author name is Jabari, who wrote the paper, which is Learning Augmented K-means Clustering Using Dimensionality Reduction. I have attached the link to this reference, and McQueen J, who has like some methods for classification and analysis of multivariate observation, who basically wrote the k-means algorithm. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something out of this, and please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.